Hey guys, what is up? This is Matthew Diaz, me once again. Welcome back to the movie review, aka After I Saw. This time it is going to be on K-Pop Demon Hunters. I know, this movie's been out since June, but we'll get more into that later. But anyways, this movie follows a group of pop star girls named Mira, Zoe, and the protagonist of the film, Rumi, as they work together as badass demon hunters when they are not on stage pleasing their fans with their songs, as a group of demons disguised as a boy band named Saja Boys is causing a threat to the world, even though it doesn't seem that they aren't. And of course, they have to protect their fans by going up against them during a showdown, as they use their voice to fight off against the demons. And from here, it's a battle of trying to protect the people you care about, specifically the people that care about you. Now, I know exactly what you're thinking. Why did I wait so long to see this movie? It has been out since June. So many people have been talking about it. So many people have been calling it one of the greatest movies of the year and one of the greatest animated films in recent memory. It's one of the most creative films in recent memory as well. And so many people have been talking about it. It's been blowing up like crazy. It's one of the most streamed movies currently on Netflix right now. It made it to the top 2 and was number 1 for a while. They released the regular version and the sing-along version. I saw the sing-along version because that's the only thing that we're playing in terms of this playing in the theater. Yes, I saw this in a theater because when it released in the theaters the first time, I didn't have time to see it. Mostly because I was door dashing. I could have squeezed some time in, but I really needed some money. So, yeah. But hey, because the movie made $18 million, which is a huge step up for a streaming movie to make that amount of money, even though it's currently streaming, like, that's a really big step up. I mean, 18 million, that is more than how much Borderlands made domestically. I really shouldn't be comparing this movie to Borderlands, but I just find it hilarious. But now, the reason why I didn't review the movie sooner in terms of, just watching it from home is, I've mentioned this multiple times, like in some of my previous videos, some that I haven't made too long ago, like when I reviewed Freaky or Friday, is when it comes to new movies going straight to streaming, I don't get nearly as excited to talk about them anymore. I have reviewed a lot of them, but it's gotten to the point where I'm just tired of, having to watch a new movie from Netflix and, well, I'll watch it. I don't really get that amount of encouragement to review the film. For instance, I loved the new Wallace and Gromit movie. I wanted to review that, but I don't know. I would have had a much more fun time if I saw that in the theater. That's why I didn't have that same motivation for reviewing it for you guys. And I know what you're thinking. If that's the case, why did you review War of the Worlds? That didn't go to theaters. Because I don't care if it went to theaters or not, because the movie wasn't good. So that's not really a good reason, but when it comes to the sense of, talking about how good a movie is, I just would have preferred if, I was seeing it on the big screen, because to me, new movies should always start off on the big screen, unless they're straight to video films in which they have a reason to, go straight to video. That's why I was happy to see the new Frankenstein movie in a theater before it went to Netflix. And another reason why I went to go see this in the theater instead of at home is because I saw the new Smurfs movie in the theater. So the least I could do is see something that is close to resembling that film, but in a much better way. Like in terms of music and animation. You get where I'm going with this. But yeah, now that I've seen it, I am happy to report that I do agree with the hype. I don't think it's the best animated movie ever made or anything like that, but I do think it is one of the best animated films of the year, and I absolutely get where the hype is coming from. It's clear this is, a love letter to people who love K-pop and, people who got into it, like groups coming together and talking about it. It's clear they put all of that in this movie while also having a really engaging storyline of, battling with your voice. Because there are parts in the movie where Rumi is losing her voice and she doesn't know why. And I'm not really going to get big into major spoilers or anything like that. But I will say that, when it comes to the characters, some of them I wish were on screen a little bit more, like Rumi's friends, Mira and Zoe, because They do have elements of comedy here and there, especially with the animation style. I would have loved if, we saw more of them on screen, because it has a heavy focus on Rumi, but, I didn't mind all that much. I really liked her storyline because it was interesting. It felt, while it's something that has been done in other movies, but the way it's handled here, I feel like because the storyline managed to still be engaging with its premise, I feel like that was more than enough to have me invested. And of course, I gotta talk about the animation because, oh man, that animation just thanks to the Spider-Verse, we're getting more animated films like this with this style, and because Sony's behind it, yeah, you can tell it is just absolutely popping when it comes to the animation. No AI BS, no, laziness when it comes to the animation. It's stylish, especially with elements of anime mixed in, because it has a heavy amount of that, and I'm big into anime. Movies like Turning Red did that, but I think in this movie, they managed to do it even better because they added more of that style, especially since, it involves K-pop and stuff. Well, of course, K-pop isn't Japanese, but hey, that doesn't mean it can't remind you of that. Because again, I feel like, animation like this would work a lot better if they just went on the big screen. Now, of course, because it's K-pop, how did I feel about the songs? Well, I can tell you this, K-pop isn't really my thing. I get why it's so popular, but, it's just not really my style. But I can tell you this, I really liked the songs here. They felt mature with the lyrics, they felt catchy. Some of them I was thinking about on the drive back, and I had a great time listening to the songs. Now, yes, this is the sing-along version, and when I did see the movie, it was packed with kids. But, even though I've had some really bad experiences with people talking and stuff, it didn't really bother me because I knew it was going to happen. Though some kids talked when songs weren't playing, I didn't really care all that much because at this point, I expected that. But I was still, able to engage myself with what was going on screen, because there are parts to the movie where things change up in a way that I wasn't expecting. And when it comes to, the supposed antagonist, it made me feel something. There are elements to this movie where the humor manages to work, and there isn't a time where the humor starts butting in when it comes to the emotion. Because when it comes to those types of animated films, or films in general, it kind of takes the seriousness and the emotion away. But the way it's put in here, I feel like they managed to do it maturely, because while watching the movie, specifically with the clips of eating and stuff, you would say that this is all childish and stuff, but there are actually some themes about this movie that I feel like, some adults can connect with, unless you're not really into K-pop, because it's not really going to be for everyone when it comes to K-pop. I mean, hey, I'm not into K-pop, and I think this movie's great, but there are definitely going to be some people who feel that, this movie was overhyped. Probably in the same sense of the Barbie movie, how some people say that's only for girls or all that. Some people will say that this movie's only for girls. But it can still work in a way that, other people can also appreciate as well. If they really know what they're getting into, then they should know what to expect. Of course, it's not going to be for everyone, but when it came to my experience while watching the film, I watched something that, people put a lot of time and effort into. They want to tell a good story. They want to have good characters. Some of those characters I wanted to be on screen a little bit more, but hey, regardless, I still think there was almost enough. I guess probably the only thing about the movie is that during the last act, without getting into spoilers, there is one character that I thought they were going to expand more on, but they kind of left that hanging a little bit. There wasn't really enough said about this one part of the storyline, and it's during a part involving well, okay, I shouldn't really get further in. There was a part to the storyline that I felt like could have been expanded just a little bit more, because it is an hour and a half long. I would have liked if it expanded a little bit more, to add a little bit more to that. There are also some elements of, some reminders of what's going on in the film when it comes to exposition and all that, but never really enough for me to just be all like, oh, okay, we get it, you've talked about this over and over. But yeah, that's really about it. I don't really have, anything super major. Those are just minor gripes I had. There wasn't a part of me that was just oh, this made me so mad. But I was just all around very delighted by the film. I surprisingly enjoyed the songs. And the movie is fast, too. Like, it is a quick film. And I haven't even gotten into the battles. While there aren't a whole lot when it came to the battles, they are very stylish. And almost all of them have song numbers in them because, again, they're using their voice to fight. And it was a lot of fun when it came to the action. Again, a very stylish, very creative. This was all around a film that had a lot of hard work put into it, and I feel like it really managed to pay off. And in the end, guys, I'm happy that I finally got to watch this movie. I know I could have just watched it at home to give you guys a review sooner, but like I said before, movies like this I wish were on the big screen more often. It's a quick moving film. It gives fans of K-pop something to think about, to want to talk about with other fans of K-pop, even if you're not into K-pop. There's still a very mature sense of, like, I don't know how to put it, but there's some very mature themes about this movie that I think people who even aren't into K-pop can appreciate, because when it comes to Sony nowadays, I feel like they managed to get better and better because, again, Spider-Verse, freaking Mitchell's versus the Machines, and with this film, it goes to show that they have managed to know exactly what fans of animation want, and this, I feel like, is something that fans of animation can generally appreciate, if you're a fan of K-pop or not. I'm not a fan of K-pop, but I was fully delighted by the end. This is off topic, but I'm not actually reviewing this at the theater or by the theater. I'm actually at the grocery store because, man, there was a lot of traffic, and I wanted to get out of that traffic before talking about this movie. That way I would feel more comfortable. But yeah, I'm happy I got to see it. I'm seeing this before Begonia, but don't worry, I'm definitely gonna see Begonia. But yeah, anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and maybe subscribe for more. You can also follow me on Twitter, Instagram, or maybe Blue Sky. Links are in the description, and I'll see you guys later. Word out.